Thanks, Stephen. I've been able to work with ORAM with LGBTQ refugees on the US-Mexico border, and it's been really gratifying to be involved with ORAM's work serving the most vulnerable communities. So I'm very excited to introduce to you two very special guests that are working on both sides of the US-Mexico border, both in Tijuana and in the US. Each guest is going to share with us the particular challenges for these triply marginalized communities and the critical needs the communities are facing during the times of COVID. All right, so now I'd like to introduce Jaime Marin to you. Jaime is a co-founder of Jardín de las Mariposas in Tijuana, and Jaime and his mother have been working to protect and provide critical services to LGBTQ asylum seekers for over 9 years. So Jaime, thanks for being here with us. It's good to see you again. Could you please walk us through what the experience is like for LGBTQ asylum seekers as they flee their home countries and arrive in Mexican border towns like Tijuana, and as they wait for their asylum cases to be heard?
Yes, thank you so much, Annie, for the introduction. And of course, I will be glad to talk a little bit about what the experiences are, because there's a lot of challenges for our refugees and our migrants that are coming from different countries where there's a lot of stigma and discrimination against our population. A lot of our refugees and migrants that come from other parts of Mexico and other states that are violent, or included in Central America, from the Triangle Circle, from Guatemala, Salvador, and Honduras. We have received people from, including from the Caribbean, and believe it or not, we receive people from Russia as well. And it's been challenge because just the ability to procure for the basic needs, which is food, sanitation, protective gear, medications, be able to provide a clean, a safe environment has been very difficult.
Thank you. So as a follow-up question, those needs are all immense in the normal situations, but how have they intensified with COVID and border closures?
Since the borders closed, a lot of the contract out work that we get from other or support from other organizations in the U.S. have been they haven't been able to provide just the services to our residents, meaning that their medications are not getting here. Our government in Mexico, our local, doesn't have the enough resources to provide for our LGBT, and our residents or refugees don't have like medical services. So we have to rely on other organizations. So there's been a lot of stress on the local organizations that are doing this kind of work because of the limited funding that there is available to us.
Thank you, Jaime. Thanks for all of the work you're doing during such a urgent and critical time. So we appreciate you and your mom's work. So now I want to shift over across the border to Bambi Salcedo. Bambi is an internationally recognized activist, advocate, and community organizer for the trans community, but also to overlapping issues like migration and being LGBTQ Latina as well. So she is the president and CEO of the National Trans Latin Coalition and is based in Los Angeles. Bambi, thank you so much for being here with us today. Can you share a little bit about what the experience is like for LGBTQ asylum seekers once they're able to cross into the United States, and what are their new set of challenges that they're facing?
Bueno, primero que nada, muchísimas gracias por la oportunidad. I know that it's probably hard for people to understand what I just said, but I just obviously express my gratitude for the opportunity to be here with all of you. While at the same time, I also want to send much love and gratitude to all of the people who are tuning in and joining us for this very important cause. And to answer your question, Annie, the truth is that the work that we do as an organization, we although we fight for the rights of, the LGBTQ community and many different intersections that crosses our lives, we particularly focus on supporting trans immigrants who are both in immigration detention but also are getting out of immigration detention. And so we know that trans Latinas who are in immigration detention experience inhumane treatment. They experience isolation. Obviously, the issues range from sexual assault, sexual harassment, both from guards and people who are incarcerated with them or detained. Um, Also, people who are HIV positive not being able to get their medications when they need them, um, and the issues are multiple. We, in some ways, become their family. Many, as Jaime stated, many individuals uh, don't have families that they can really respond or really be there for them.
Thank you. So Bambi and Jaime, I just want to ask you one last question. In 30 seconds or less, can you tell us and tell the audience what are the most critical needs for the people you're serving right now in the times of COVID and discrimination towards the LGBTQ communities?
Well, many of our refugees arrive with serious medical conditions, including like high rates of HIV positive individuals, which means that the border is closed, which means that many of our medical volunteers or services are no longer available to us. This wonderful organization that we're invited us today to participate, ORAM and Allied, that has always been there for us in basic careers that we need. Our residents could be in a clean and safe environment, and they can also have some medical attention, and also they can be able to see a professional to help them with their questions, because right now with our LGBT community is having, it's a lot of anxiety, a lot of stress, a lot of uncertainty of what's going to happen. Everything is changing, and the services are very limited. So this is all I have to say, Annie, for today, and I'll pass it on to Bambi. And thank you so much.
So I think what we need as a community is really immediate and emergency relief support. And so, you know, we're trying to do the best that we can, obviously, but it's really hard to support people in an emergency crisis. So it's important that we understand uh, the repercussions, and we know that this global pandemic has set the trans movement and the trans community even further behind than we were even in 2020. So it's important that we're conscientious about that, and that we do the best that we can to uplift and support all of us, right? Not just a particular set of communities. So thank you so much for all of the work that you're doing on behalf of all of us. And we're very happy that and privileged that we get to participate in this forum. So thank you.
Thank you to both
Thank you.
Thank you to both Jaime and Bambi for their tireless work. You've shown that there's so many different intersections among the vulnerable communities, and how you were able to work together even during a border closure to really make sure that the most vulnerable are protected. The needs are incredible as the world deals with COVID, and it really is an all hands on deck moment. If you're interested in making a donation, it will go a long way toward the work that Jaime and Bambi just shared with you. So we thank you for being alongside us, and thank you again, Bambi and Jaime, for sharing your insights and the work you do with us today. Thanks, everyone. Back over to you, Stephen.
Thank you so much.